What's going on, Internet? I'm Christopher Peterson, and you're listening to the NerdEXP Gamecast. This week, I'm hanging out with Joe.
Greetings.
Alex.
Hello.
And Brooks.
Hey.
Each week, members of the blogging community get together to go through the top gaming headlines and help you level up your game IQ. Listeners always come first, so we'll field a couple questions. From Twitter, I'm Bill McNeil asks, what studio would you put in charge of another franchise?
Can I go first?
His answer, real quick, is Rocksteady to do Assassin's Creed.
Uh-huh.
Can I?
Yeah, go for it, Brooks.
I would have Assassin's Creed as well, but that would be done by Rockstar Games.
Excellent choice. Any particular reason why?
Well, they're really good at open world games, and it'd be nice to see how they would, what their take would be on assassinations and what setting it would have. So, I mean, they can do cowboys, they can do gangsters, they can do some everything. It would be nice just to see what their take would be on the franchise. What direction would they take it in?
I mean, that makes sense because, like, a lot of what Ubisoft has been doing as of late is very, very heavily influenced by Rockstar, you know? I mean, besides Watch Dogs just being, very, close to a GTA clone with hacking. I mean, I wouldn't say that that's what it is, but, something close to that. There's a lot of mechanics and just the formatting of the games that they do, like Assassin's Creed and Far Cry, that just very much replicate what Rockstar did years ago with like GTA 3, like the map, just having missions that you just go to at that location, expanding the world with, achieving certain areas like, outposts and things like that. Also, just the way that they build their open worlds. Ubisoft's been all over what Rockstar does, so imagining Rockstar doing something like Assassin's Creed is not actually that far-fetched.
Yep.
Sounds good. For me, I would want BioWare to do a Final Fantasy game.
Ooh.
And I know you can almost say, like, oh, they kind of do Dragon Age, that's kind of fantasy. But I mean, like, more of a story-based, traditional RPG mechanics, turn-based combat style game, and kind of their epic storytelling capabilities with branching paths and side quests and stuff that you would potentially miss, and kind of getting back to maybe something along the lines of, like, their Jade Empire or original KOTOR roots.
That sounds good, actually.
That would be interesting. Just I'm wondering, like, it's interesting just because Final Fantasy, I just think Japanese, So BioWare doing something like Final Fantasy, like what I think of is literally, like you said, like KOTOR or like Mass Effect or Dragon Age. It's like that is their best go at something like that, but they're Western, so they're different, and that's what comes out of it, whereas like Square is Japanese, and they go for that crazy explosive but like really really weird yet really intricate stories and things like that. Like that's just how it works, like if BioWare going any closer to like what Final Fantasy is or what just like Square does, I would just feel like it's just trying to be more Japanese. I don't know how that would work. It's interesting.
Well, we'll never see any of these.
Right. Right.
So we're playing a giant game of what if. What do you got, Alex?
I'm going to keep this short, but I want Nintendo EAD to develop a Mario Party because I know they can do a much better job than the actual Mario Party developers can.
Fair enough. Yeah, Mario Party has been beaten into the ground, and that game definitely needs a reboot and a refresh. Another change of hands would probably do it some good. What about you, Joe? What's your pick?
I'm not sure. I know though the studio that I want to like go out to some new franchises, like existing franchises, would be Arcane Studios, because I was a huge fan of Dishonored. Dishonored's definitely a flawed game. Like, there's definitely a ton of problems with it and stuff, but it's definitely my favorite game of last generation, like hands down. There were better games than Dishonored, but just something about like how cool it felt to do all those different powers and things like that. I feel like Arcane Studios just got like what was cool about video games, like action adventure type games, and the stealth mechanics I liked, even though they were still that kind of like, you kill a million guys, and then all the guards are like, oh, it must have been the wind. There was still plenty of that, but I love that game so much, and I would love to see what else Arcane Studios would do. I would guess like maybe something else Bethesda-esque or like maybe fantasy-esque. Like I'd love to see them do an Elder Scrolls game. Like maybe instead of doing an Elder Scrolls 6 or Elder Scrolls, whatever number, just do some sort of side project, Elder Scrolls : whatever.
Sure. I mean, Bethesda's shown a precedent with Fallout New Vegas.
Yeah. So something like that, like I'm just giving the engine to a company like Obsidian or something, just giving that Dishonored. But I mean, it's interesting because Elder Scrolls is like, has mostly been an RPG, whereas like Dishonored is way more action oriented and like physics oriented. So that's really what it is. I'd love to see Arcane Studios bring more like physics and like moment to moment action to a game like as huge and mystical as like a Skyrim or an Elder Scrolls game.
All right. Thank you. I am Bill McNeil for your question. Second question from I Shot Your Face on my IGN. What is your favorite licensed game? He asks this because of the upcoming Mad Max game based off the Mad Max Fury Road movie. People are freaking out about that movie, so expectations are high for that game. To answer your question, Batman Arkham. This was the first series that really made Batman great again. I'm a huge comic book fan, so it hit everything right and everything I wanted from that type of experience.
Yeah, I was a fan of the I only played, don't hate me, but I actually only played Arkham Asylum, and it was a while ago. I barely even remember playing it. I played it with like a friend, but I mean that was like the Batman game, that everyone wanted, I feel, but no one had asked for, no one knew about it. It just came in such a cool way. They didn't explode with like, oh, go buy Arkham Asylum. It was very quiet, and yet that's what made it cool. And just moment to moment combat, instead of throwing all sorts of weird gimmicky things that like a lot of licensed superhero games do. Arkham was definitely a world class game for sure.
So what are your guys' responses?
Well, you stole my idea, Chris, but this is actually hard. There's a whole lot of licensed games I like. I'm going to go with Star Wars, i.e. the Battlefront games. We got one that should be coming up, and I got Battlefront 2 sitting next to me. It's one of the games I played this week.
Oh, word. You went back to Battle. That was on PlayStation 2, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Or, like that generation, I mean.
Yeah. That's how long it's been since we had another Battlefront game. So yeah, I'm feeling like a crackhead or something.
Yeah, I never played a Battlefront game, but everybody speaks very highly of them, and I am really close to putting Battlefront on a 2015 pickup list at this time.
Oh yeah, I'll definitely be playing. You could give me garbage, but if it has Star Wars on it, I will buy garbage with Star Wars on it. It's ridiculous.
So you played Force Unleashed?
I played, yeah. It is. Looking back on it, I didn't like it. But at the time, I thought it was the greatest game ever because it was Star Wars. You walked around as Darth Vader killing Wookiees like a badass, just walking around. Yeah, but of course, it wasn't that great of a game. I had Episode 3, the like movie game, on Xbox, like the original Xbox, and they had this really weird thing where like it was very Jedi power battles type, but like with less platforming. and you went through the game, the story, which was awful. And you had different moves that you would do, and it wasn't a very good game. But you also had this Tekken type multiplayer mode where you would go in with the same moves and stuff, but you would fight each other on this like 2D plane, and that was also awful. But I remember it very fondly just because it was Star Wars, at the time that I wanted Star Wars.
I played that, I think, and it had a bunch of weird made-up characters for the game.
Yeah.
Like some apprentice who used Billy Club lightsabers.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember I played far more of that than I should have.
Exactly, yeah. You should have played none of it, Like, it was not a great game, but at the time, I was all about Star Wars, and I wanted this to be the Star Wars movie that, like, saved it, and it wasn't, but, it served its purpose for the time.
What do you got for us, Alex?
In order to be different, I'm gonna say the Game Boy version of DuckTales. It was
That's very specific.
The first video game I ever got in 1996.
Disney did make some great games.
That wasn't Disney. That was Capcom.
I mean DuckTales, Disney games, Disney license.
Shinji Mikami, you are a genius.
All right, sounds good. What about you, Joe?
So yeah, like the ones we've mentioned, the guilty pleasures are definitely on the list. Arkham's probably the best one. But I would also put up there Spider-Man 2, which I played on PlayStation 2. I haven't played a Spider-Man game that was even close to as fun as that. Again, a game that I look back fondly on and may not be as great as I thought it was at the time. But I mean, just the amount of freedom you had to just the swinging amongst the buildings was awesome. You could just climb on literally anything. A lot of the combat was really cool. You had like a very Metroidvania-esque like level up system. Not that you could unlock different areas, but just you would unlock new abilities and it would allow you to do different things in fights. It was a lot of fun, and just I had a lot of really fond memories. And yeah, like we haven't gotten a real great Spider-Man game since then. So that's definitely a game I look back on and wish we had more of that.
All right. Thank you guys, and thank you, I Shot Your Face, for your question.
Wait, before we move on,
if you guys want...
I was going to correct.
Yeah, go ahead, Alex.
It was actually Keiji Inafune who worked on DuckTales, not Shinji Mikami.
Oh, whoops.
I'm afraid so, yes.
I mean, it's 96. It was a long time ago. But thank you for doing your...
The game came out in 1990.
With DuckTales, the original DuckTales, or no?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Well, what about the Game Boy version?
90. NES version was 89.
Oh. Okay, just came out the next year. Okay. I literally my knowledge on the old school games, like 8-bit games, is very minimal. It was literally Zelda and Mario for me, and that was it. And I played Mario 3 with like a friend at some point. It was like I know nothing of those games. I heard Shovel Knight was like DuckTales, and I'm like, there was a DuckTales game? I didn't even know it existed.
You didn't know it existed because there's no way to access it.
Right, I've heard, yeah.
You purchased the remake.
Right, yeah, I saw that. Was that any good? Did anyone play the remake of DuckTales?
It was good. It was pretty much the NES game with a coat of paint. And a hell of a lot of cutscenes that I chose to skip.
Word, yeah.
Most people did. All right. Moving on to news. Bethesda announced Fallout 4.
They sure did.
Meh.
So they announced it, and they announced it with a trailer and screenshots, and the scuttlebutt rumor is that this is potentially a 2015 game.
Oh, without a doubt. It's coming out fall 2015. Just mark your calendars now. It's somewhere in the fall-ish area. Just put a big circle and put Fallout. It's coming. Guaranteed.
I hope it does, and not because I'm a big Fallout fan. I'm a mediocre Fallout fan. But because I would love for this to be the new press cycle, for this to be the new way that games are announced. Games are announced when they're ready, then they get a lot of hype and buzz, and you get a tighter time of logos and screenshots and facts, and then they come out instead of, like some games that we'll be talking about that have had like a 2-3 year press cycle release. I mean, that's just too long. I want this shorter period of time.
There's a lot of things about this announcement that are like I want to say unique, especially because of like what you said. Too many games come out, like are announced and are take too long to come around, or they get delayed. Just games get delayed left and right because they just wanted to get it announced so that they get the press and so that they get the investors and things like that. But I mean, I can't say that this is unique because Bethesda's done this, with the majority, like as for any of the games I've played by them, from Oblivion on to what they've put out now, Bethesda Game Studios games, they've done it this way. They've announced it, early that year, and then say it's coming out in the fall or in like the late fall, like late Q4, whatever. But Oblivion did that, I'm pretty sure. I know Fallout 3 came out same year it was announced. Skyrim came out same year it was announced. And this is, it's no different for them. They are a game studio that knows how to make sure that their games are quality and ready to go and are going to be the best games of that year. At least one of them.
Not to bring down the room or anything, but Fallout 3 was actually announced in the summer of 2007. Though that was like the one time they did not keep tradition. And then
was it delayed, or was it like did it come out and they said it's coming out next year?
I think that they held it off like they did because of the complexity of programming an open world like that, where anything can happen. It did not.
That's interesting.
They did not choose to delay Skyrim, and that's why we had dragons flying backwards.
I mean, this game's gonna come out buggy, and that's not an insult to Bethesda. That's how these open world games come out. Witcher 3, Witcher Wild Hunt, whatever, is being patched and had some problems when it first comes out. There's just only so much that 100 playtesters can catch compared to 1 million people going through and just the amount of permutations and variables.
It's true, yeah. Sorry, man.
In their defense, they've been working on this game for 4 years.
I mean, that's like, is that normal? I feel the ignorant saying this, but isn't that seems like normal dev cycle?
It's
Am I
perfectly
right?
for Bethesda. Yeah. Their last major game was Skyrim.
Right.
And that gives credence to the fact that it might be coming out this year.
Yeah, I totally believe it's coming out this year. They, a lot of leaks I've been seeing are pointing to that. And again, like you said, Chris, like I definitely believe this is like they are going to be the studio to come forward after the atrocity that was 2014 and be like, this is how it's done. You announce it the year it's ready. You keep it under wraps. Do whatever Bethesda does to keep it under wraps. Threaten families or something. I don't know how they kept the cap on this one, but like you keep it under wraps. You announce it the year you want it out. And if delays need to happen, obviously, we'd rather that. But I have full faith that they showed us what they showed us, knowing that it's ready.
And do you know why they announced it so early before E3, right?
Oh, so you can avoid the leaks. Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly.
Yeah,
if they put it, the ESA has to know that these games are going to be at the show, and you can't control easily what the people within ESA are going to do.
They're going to put out there, yeah, of
announce
course.
it early on that day.
Yeah, that's been pretty customary now of pre E3 season, like if we could call it a season, It's like every at least last year I remember all the news coming out early, things getting leaked like Battlefield Hardline, everything. I don't know I forget if that was last year. I think so. But I mean,
I'm sure they're just proud of that.
Yeah, really. It's not to disparage them, people are jerks, they'll get that one little phone camera snapshot of things coming out, and they want to feel special, and they'll just put it out there, or they'll send a text to their friend, thinking that they'll keep it under wraps, and then it just explodes. That's just the nature of this climate, and this the way tech works now. Like it's impossible to keep a secret, which is why I cannot believe we have not heard more, even though we did hear rumors. I cannot believe how little we heard about this game before they showed us everything yesterday. It's incredible.
Did you know how Nintendo deals with people who break NDA?
How?
Slaughter their family.
To quote from what happened with the Smash League last August, that person was fired and given a hefty lawsuit. When the tester from Traveler's Tales leaked a photo of the gamepad with the redesigned analog sticks, they too were fired and thrown a lawsuit at them.
Uh-huh.
So if you're dealing with Nintendo, you do not want to break NDA.
Which I think that's what should happen. I mean, I wish these companies could keep a tighter lid and be able to announce these things at E3. And I look forward to E3, and I'm very excited about this year's E3 and to see what gets announced. But I mean, to be honest, the last few years, it kind of feels like there's no surprises at E3. Because it feels like there's no surprises at E3 because everything already got pre-announced.
Yeah, I mean,
social networks.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. It's the age of social networks. They want that instant publicity, getting people that get that buzz, get people talking.
Yeah, it's like what Alex said. Once they are, showing to everyone pre-E3, what's going to be at E3, there's no controlling what people outside of the studios and outside of the company are going to do. So they figured they might as well get ahead of it, and surprises are cool. Surprises are fun for us, it's probably more compelling to investors, and it really pops to investors. And gets that element of surprise, but in the end, you gotta think of your business, and if things are getting leaked, you never know what damage that can possibly do. It's often not terrible, but you never know, so it's much safer business wise to just get the news out there. But I remember you said that not last week, but last time we did the podcast, how E3 is getting less and less surprising. And I still stand by, maybe the games, we tend to know more often, but then it makes those games that we don't know about so much more special.
Yep.
And then, the things that we see coming out for, hardware and things like that, and just business decisions, those are always exciting and kind of surprising. So I still think, E3 has a magic to it. Maybe not as much as it used to, but so much in this world with, like you said, Brooks, social networking, so much has lost magic already. I'm not surprised, at least, I guess.
I don't know if it affects the investors as much as E3 affects the retail buyers. Your GameStops, Toys R Us, KB's, Babbage's.
Oh yeah.
I mean, E3's kind of geared towards, especially the press conferences. Even though now, they know that people like G4, it used to be G4, and GameSpot and IGN are streaming this to, consumers. E3's used to, correct me if I'm wrong, always was kind of geared towards investors. That's why you get something like last year, Arkham Knight was announced, and they said it's coming out that fall. And then weeks later, after they said that, and investors saw that and, invested or what have you, they delayed it to almost a whole year. So clearly they're showing this to get investors excited, and then
I don't know if it's
just let them know what they're getting out the door this year.
It's not about investors in that case. It was more about getting pre-orders and getting the fans excited to pre-order before the inevitable delay was announced, because they knew that game wasn't ready for the fall.
Well, yeah, they absolutely knew. You're absolutely right. But I mean, pre-orders.
Investors
if it's a pre-order, you can just click a button and pre-orders are canceled. So I don't know if that's the main reason why they did that. I feel like investors, was approaching the end of the fiscal year or the beginning of fiscal year. I feel like that was more of the factor than pre-orders or whatever. But I don't know. I'm not in the business, honestly, so I'm not authoritative on this.
Investors.
You're talking.
investors get more excited when they see the upcoming fiscals projected, and they see the quarter that Arkham Knight is launching in, and they see how many units are projected to move.
Right.
Regardless, E3 used to be a trade show, and I think we can all agree it is so much more.
Yep.
I mean, like, they are playing to everybody. Consumers, investors, GameSpot, their own peers. It's a pissing match between all the companies. Like, it is not what it started out as.
Yeah, no, of course not. Yeah, like we said, yeah. And once you're streaming everything, then you gotta cater to everyone somehow, which is crazy. So, yeah, it's definitely a new age, definitely very very different from where it began. Like I didn't even know what E3 was only until a few years ago. You know, now it's like everyone knows. You know, people who don't know video games know that E3 is coming. You know, and like that big things happen there.
All right. Moving on to story number 2. XCOMM number 2 releases this year. So just recently, publisher 2K said that Firaxis Studios, behind XCOMM, Enemy Unknown, and Enemy Within, has been working on XCOMM 2. It's coming out this fall for PCs only. I played Enemy Unknown. It was a great game. Not for everybody, but I thought it was an excellent tactical strategy game. I'm not a huge PC gamer in the sense that I don't do it at all, so I'm slightly disappointed that this is a PC-only release, but I assume that this is PC for now. We'll see it on consoles eventually later down the road, and that's fine.
Yeah, I'm pretty ignorant in PC gaming too. I've never played XCOM, so I'm not sure what it would be that would keep it from coming to consoles. But I mean, I'm sure it could be a number of things. Maybe it doesn't function as well. Not actually, technically functioning, but actually playing the game doesn't work as well on consoles. But I'm very ignorant as far as how XCOM works.
Part of this new game, this XCOM 2, they're saying something about procedurally generated maps and mod support. And right there, you can pretty much rule consoles out. If you can make your own mods for the game, you're not going to do a whole lot of that on consoles.
Can you perhaps rule out procedurally generated gameplay, though? Because that's what Skylanders Supercharged is doing.
Well, yeah, you can probably do that, but as far as mods, the mods. That's the thing I'm worried about.
I mean, mods are a thing for any game. Not any game, that's stupid. But like for so many games that come out, agnostically, like they come out for mods come out for PC games. Almost any PC game that's popular enough for it and open enough for it. Like there's, the modding community for Elder Scrolls and other Bethesda games is gigantic, but it made its way to consoles. So I mean, the modding community, and also Skyrim. When Skyrim came out, Bethesda went out of its way to try to cater to modders and they made like a creation kit or something like that, and they've tried very hard to make it easier for modders to work with their game, and still it came out on consoles. So I feel like I wonder if like mods are, I mean, I don't know the game again, like I don't know XCOM at all, but I wonder if that's like what's keeping them from bringing it to console.
Maybe it's just economics. Like I don't know how well XCOM sold.
Yeah.
So maybe they saw like 80% of their sales were on PC, so they're like, why bother?
Yeah.
R&D cost. So
that would make a lot more sense. Yeah. Like business is always the strongest, force to, make these types of decisions. Like it makes perfect sense to just decide to just go all in on one console, not even bother. Well, not one console, with PC. I mean, is this the second game in the entire series, or was XCOM something before Enemy Unknown?
Great question. XCOM was originally a PC game, so this is it kind of going back to its roots. I don't know how many there have been in the series total, but I think there's been, 5, 6. Like, it was an older game.
Yeah.
But yeah, it wasn't.
I don't know if you have more of a history on this.
Yeah, you're gonna have to, because I know there was more than this XCOM, but I can't recall offhand what the other games were.
But the point was, it was originally like a PC game. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like people playing PC were the ones talking about this game, knew this game, and
Yeah.
that's probably the people who came back to play. Console gamers weren't the ones looking like, holy tits, XCOM's coming out to consoles. I can't wait.
Yeah.
No, it was the PC gamers who were ready to get back into that. So that makes perfect sense.
Case in point, I have no affection for the XCOM.
Right.
Fair enough. Lastly, rounding out a trio, again, another game, well, kind of, announced today. It's going to be releasing this fall. Uncharted, the Nathan Drake collection. HD remastering on PS4 of Uncharted 1, 2, 3.
That's a no-brainer. That's one of the things I kind of expected to see at E3 as well, along with some demo of Uncharted 4.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I wonder how heavy Uncharted 4 is going to be at E3 now. Like, do you think this makes an effect on it? Like, because now they're obviously going to want to, boast this now because Uncharted isn't coming this year. It might be coming early next year. Sorry.
Yeah, you're all right. You're fine.
Yeah, so just this obviously with the change in pacing and in scheduling, with Uncharted coming later, this was, like you said, is literally a no-brainer. Bring out the HD series. HD remasters are all the rage. We talked about it all last week, and collections are just that much better. They're a much more viable sell, and yeah, I am stupid excited for this too because I never played the Uncharted games and I loved Last of Us, and I now have a PS4 because I moved from Xbox. So
exactly. Yeah. That's the point. There's a whole lot of PS4 owners who have never owned PS3, so they never got to play any of those games. So this will be their first opportunity to get on them unless they had a friend that had the system.
I'm actually literally happy that this happened, that they're taking their time with Uncharted 4, and now I have time to play the trilogy. I'm actually stoked that this is coming out. Like, I was talking all, bad about remasters and stuff, but like I said, HD remasters are annoying to me until something comes out that I want, and I want this bad. I'm so excited.
Alex, do you have any opinions, thoughts?
I don't have a PS4, so I can't play these, but I also have the Uncharted trilogy already, so it doesn't affect me too much.
Yeah.
How early are we talking about Uncharted 4 coming out next year? Because Sony's financial report says it's not coming before March 31st, 2016.
No, probably not.
I don't think they've given it a date yet.
They will.
Yeah.
I think it's still,
that game will
it's still in window mode.
That game will absolutely be at E3. Because everybody is hyped for it, perhaps, and more importantly, Sony doesn't have a lot of other first-party games in the pipe.
Exactly, and that's the point.
My hypothesis is that the other studios aren't doing anything because they're actually assisting on the few games Sony is producing because Sony is trying to control costs generation, unlike the last one where they put out so many first-party games from so many studios. They weren't enough sales to justify keeping those studios open, and so a lot of places would close down after. Like our friends at Big Big.
Just real quick, sorry, editor's note. Somebody's window is popping up some noise or something.
Yeah, we're getting some real chimes. We're getting a soundtrack in the background.
I noticed that.
Yeah, I definitely think you're right, actually, Alex. Like, there's no way Uncharted's like their money cow. Like, they gotta have it there. But talking about. Oh, sorry.
And to think God of War used to be their money cow.
Yeah, like that's going to be there for sure. But that definitely,
but not God of War new whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, whatever the fourth installment was. Yeah, that clearly put them they went quiet after that, obviously. And
their next game got canceled during production.
Right.
The open world perhaps game with dinosaurs that was never announced.
Oh, I'm not sure.
No, it was never announced. We're not allowed to know about it.
Excellent. So, but yeah, I was just thinking of what you said. Like, Uncharted will definitely be there. But Sony thinking about the lack of first party games coming out, of exclusives. I mean, people at IGN were saying this before, and then the head of Sony, not head of Sony, head of PlayStation, had announced something to this nature. Like, there's going to be some real focus on third-party games, and PlayStation's always, since the PlayStation 4 has come out, they've been good about getting hands in first with like a lot of third-party support and getting consumers to associate PlayStation 4 with these games that are, that come out on everything, like Destiny. Destiny came out on all the home consoles, but people think of PlayStation because the logo's on there and it was at the conference. I think PlayStation's going to do a good job again this year of really backing their third parties. But then I think they're going to do some other things, but I'll save it for like the E3 predictions. But
those
yeah,
same people are also being like, the PS4 is selling so well, it doesn't matter that we have first party games lacking.
It's gonna matter eventually.
Yeah,
though,
it can't just keep going, right? Like, yeah, for sure.
It goes that way with Nintendo because people sadly only buy Nintendo consoles for Nintendo games.
But the Wii U sold like crap, The Wii U's got 9 million units out there, Like, you think it does until it doesn't,
Au contraire, though, Wii U has a really strong attach rate. It's over 5. And Mario Kart 8 has a 50% attach rate. Further evidence that people are only buying Wii U for the Nintendo games. They are not buying it for Mass Effect 3 or Zombie.
Right, of course, yeah. But
yeah,
sorry.
Vita has no. I was talking over you, Joe.
No. Go ahead, Chris. Go ahead.
The Vita has a high attach rate. I don't think it's 5. I don't know what it is off the top of my head, but I've heard high numbers previously. So that's not an argument that the console's doing well just because it has a passionate fan base. The console's still not selling well. Vita and Wii U are commercial failures.
I just thought,
regardless of how many software.
Yeah, no matter what like percentages you compare, with like what they buy on the console and things like that. Wii U, Wii U sold so little, like it's incredible, like compared to what they expected, especially like first couple of years, like it was borderline abysmal. Like 9 million in the whole life, like less than 10 million at like this many years is pretty detrimental to the console. Not detrimental to Nintendo. Nintendo can do whatever they want. Honestly, with their partnership with DNA with like mobile, like they're gonna do just fine. But the Wii U is dying, like poorly. Like
H-E double.
All right, moving on to just weird news. Spike Lee is going to direct the NBA 2K16 My Career mode. They've apparently filmed a lot of footage, and he is directing it, putting the story together. There's a protagonist, there's an antagonist.
This is...
I don't know.
Yeah, so I saw that on
crossover.
your news, and I know what it means. Just why don't you explain it to me so that I'm sure you know what it means.
This is literally the first time I've heard of this.
Why do I even put an agenda together?
No, I read it. Like I don't understand what it means. Like like Spike Lee's directing the courtside like camera angles or something. Sorry.
No, I'm sorry. What it comes down to is I kind of was about to blow the news off myself until I realized this game is going to have a involved story mode. It's going to follow a high school basketball star and the choices he has to make before he goes to the NBA and or go to college. And they wanted somebody who understood who might understand what this guy's going through and put the story together. They got motion capturing the whole 9. I blew it off at first until I realized they were actually going to do an involved story. So I'm like, okay, now I'm interested. I'm curious.
That's pretty unique to like sports games now. Like I haven't heard anything like that.
Yeah, there's season mode and stuff like that, obviously, but this is the first time that they're trying to develop a narrative to go along with it, besides the one you create for yourself.
Right, yeah, it's always been, career mode or like, being head coach or whatever. It's never been something like actually having a character that you don't, you probably define him, but like a character that's kind of pre-established and then you kind of take them through. That's really interesting. I'm just wondering what the developers or the producers like brought them to that decision, like to do this? Like it sounds. I wonder if there's like a market for that. Like what about that spoke to them?
They probably.
I'm sorry.
That's a great question. I don't.
Oh,
No. Go on.
I got a
Brooks.
theory. It probably has something to do with a lot of these games. A lot of these games with narratives now they're becoming so popular, and I think they're trying to experiment now with some of these sports titles doing the same thing. 'Cause a lot of games like The Walking Dead, The Last of Us, they all have really involved narratives that really people got into more than just the gameplay, and I think they want to try to do that themselves. This is the first time I've ever really heard of a sports game like this with that type of story on it.
That's interesting.
I mean,
yeah.
sports games are all the time criticized for being roster updates.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe this is an attempt to
broaden it,
debunk that
bigger
theory.
audience apparently.
The Wii version of FIFA will never debunk that theory entirely, I'm afraid. Let me ask a question. Will this story mode have Kobe Bryant playing NBA on the PlayStation Move?
I have no idea. I know they're doing a lot of motion capture with actual a lot of motion capture for the people for the actual principal characters in the story, but I have no idea what else is going to happen.
Don't worry, our listeners
Nope.
will understand the reference.
Nobody uses the PlayStation Move, so
Oh, no.
Yeah,
okay, I
no,
feel you.
yeah, oh yeah, no moves.
Remember that E3 presentation?
I do, unfortunately. I've been trying to forget, but thank you for reminding me. Now it's burned in my
it just
image.
came
That was quite the hoot and the holler, wasn't it?
Quite the hoot. I'm actually. It's funny because I have some worries. I mean, I keep feeling like I'm gonna jump into the E3 predictions.
Yeah, that's the problem. Yeah, a lot of this stuff is.
We're coming up on
Well,
an hour, believe it or not.
There was a lot of pre-recording, but anyway, we'll just power through these last three stories. I just want to call them out because they're all unique for some different reason. Wander came out today for Steam and PlayStation 4. I had a chance to previously interview Loki Davison, the developer and kind of lead visionary for this game. I haven't played it yet, but it sounds really unique and interesting. It's a non-combat, non-competitive MMORPG. You can shape change to a griffin, to a crocodile creature, to a giant tree, and the entire game is literally just exploring the world around you and kind of uncovering the mystery of why you have this ability.
Oh.
And there's no failsafe or anything else like that. There's nothing. There's like the traditional trappings of an MMO are kind of stripped down, and it is just an emphasis on exploration. It sounds like a larger. This is me talking, not him. It sounds like a larger version of Journey.
I never played Journey, and I'm very excited to play that game. I'm hoping it comes out like sometime after E3 because that's been delayed and stuff. But I mean, I played Flower. I've played other games like that are like No Fail State, more of a Zen explorative type game, or just like a much more artistic approach, I guess. I'm definitely really interested as far as this medium goes in like the more art house type games, if that's a term. Like games like this, like that kind of question, what is a game? Does it have to have this, like, does it have to have like win or lose, like fail state and like completion? Or can it just be this world and this question that you have that you try to explore? So I saw that, and I'm definitely very interested. I definitely think I'll check it out because I mean games like that are what I think we could use just to branch out like the spectrum of what a game is. And I'm so sick of shooting things. Like I don't need to shoot things ever again in video games.
It's nice to hear that you got an interview with the persons behind Wonder. I personally wonder why I have no access to this game.
The PS4? Oh, well, yeah. I mean, the PS4 has been real good about... I mean, is it an independent developed game? Like...
It isn't.
Yeah, this is Wander's... like, right now their studio is called Wander the Game. Like, this is their first game. This is their first outing.
Yeah, like, PlayStation's been all over getting independently developed games onto their consoles, and people have been saying, developers have been saying, most importantly, that games made on console or just developed on console. Well, I mean, developed on console, just games that are released on console are very easy to port over onto the PlayStation 4. So that's one of the main reasons why you're seeing everything that comes out on Steam also very shortly after come out on PS4. You know, like a couple of games will come out to the Xbox One. Very few games like now I feel like come out. I mean, I just don't hear about them on the last gen games consoles, because just PlayStation's done what they can to make it easy for developers to bring their games to them, and it's really profiting for them, I feel. So yeah, you know, I'm sorry to hear that, you know, you're kind of getting left in the dust
on an island.
Yeah.
Real quick, because Joe said give this game a try. It is on Steam, and I didn't have this on the docket, but Steam did institute a new refund policy where any game that you purchase, I'm remembering this off the top of my head, so I apologize if it's slightly wrong, that you have either 14 real days and or 2 hours of gameplay to refund the game, like no questions asked. And then after that, you can still ask for a refund, and then they'll weight the merits of your case. So if you have any interest in Wander, if that sounds like anything that you'd want to try, basically buy the game, try it for an hour, and then if it's something that you enjoyed, keep playing. If not, then ask for your refund back and see how it goes.
I review Steam's refund policy just to make sure, because that sounds crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was very surprised when they came up with that.
Yeah.
I'll be very surprised if it leads to a slippery slope of exploitation.
Yeah, really.
I mean,
like
the mods did.
I'll buy a game just to like finish it in a couple of days, you know? Like if I got nothing to do for a weekend and then just return it, like hell yeah.
You can.
Well, there is that 2 hour rule.
Right. So for 14 days, you have 2 hours. Oh, okay. You have 2 hours of time.
Gameplay.
Got it. I understand. Oh, I could beat a game in 2 hours. No problem. Don't worry about it.
Have any of you finished a game in a couple of days?
I finished Last of Us in like 4 days. I'm pretty sure. I just went straight through because I was still doing college, so I had summers off, and I got it for PS4 last summer, and I binged that game pretty quick. It was almost depressing.
Unfortunately, I couldn't finish it in 2 days. I finished it in 6 months.
Oh man.
Yikes.
That's savory. That is partly to
yeah.
save.
That's like you get to that's just
at the same time, and I have real world obligations that unfortunately.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
I know. Like that. I literally very like I was not very responsible. I took off of work for like 2 days out of the 4 days I was playing. I was stupid psyched for this game.
Right.
But I mean, 6 months, like that probably was not terrible because like you were like living in that world for 6 months, you know.
It took me 2 years to finish Uncharted 1 and 2 each.
Jeez. Ouch.
Spread over a long time.
Well.
Responsibilities in life sucks, man.
That said, I take a lot less time to play something like Pokemon because I already know what I'm getting in for.
Yeah.
Contradictory. So, much like skipping, can we skip over to the IDs? Can we skip over to our E3 predictions?
Sure, why not? I'm just going to call it the stories, no commentary. Drive Club prepares for PlayStation Plus servers, supposedly. And Dragon Age Inquisition, if you purchase the DLC on PS3 or Xbox 360, if you then buy Dragon Age Inquisition on PS4 or Xbox One, your DLC travels with you. I don't even know why they bothered to announce it, because that's such a unique use case that it has to be like 0.1% of users this will actually help.
Quite.
Okay. E3 predictions. Alex seems to be really chomping at the bit to start.
E3.
So let's go Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo, because that's the same order as their press conferences, so that way we're not doing any weird favoritism for anybody. So we'll go around.
It is in favoritism of which company came from our country first and foremost. It's like a patriotism sort of thing.
I'm in us.
Let's call it
so
that.
We're
Let's
not,
call it
like
patriotism.
This podcast.
Right. Good.
Microsoft is quite the American.
So let's go round robin. So everybody gives one prediction.
Mm-hmm.
So that way, if somebody happened to have three of the same, you don't feel like you get completely shafted. So we don't know the predictions that anybody else is calling out. So Alex, you want to lead us with your first Microsoft prediction?
Oh, sure thing. So you know about the new Xbox One controller with the headphone jack?
Right.
Leaked last week. I think that Microsoft is going to announce it at the press conference and be like, hey, it's in stores now.
Sounds good. It's a nice, safe bet. What do you have, Brooks?
I believe they're going to show off a lot of some more footage from Halo 5 Guardians, because the Halo collection kind of did not so well with all the technical issues, and I think they're going to want to try to win some more goodwill and get people excited for the new Halo game.
Okay. I think both of those are locks.
Yeah, for sure.
Might I have some conjecture about the Halo collection, by the way?
Mm-hmm.
How come when it was under review by the press last fall, they didn't catch any of the technical problems with online play that everybody else faced?
What, you mean Halo Master Chief?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the most atrocious thing. I'm sorry. Like, I don't like being so negative, but I was so frustrated. I was the hugest Halo nerd, and like the fact that game still came out with a 9, just specifically talking about IGN, still, even though like you docking it from a 10 is not what that game deserved. That game, when it came out, while it was under review, was atrocious because the multiplayer, which was what they had been pushing from the get-go. They weren't pushing the fact that it's so cool you could play 4 campaigns. It is cool, but the multiplayer is clearly what you were pushing. Yeah, that was ridiculous. Sorry, you talk about Halo, I'm gonna start ranting about it. It was ridiculous.
Perhaps one might assume that the conditions of the servers under the reviewers and the members of the press were very different from when millions of people joined in later.
I mean, well, when they reviewed it, they started reviewing it they released the official review after like a week or so that it had been out, because they kept doing reviews in progress because of the situation. But so they experienced it probably, I mean, like they didn't get any special treatment as far as servers go. I mean, I swear Ryan McCaffrey just, has a hard on for Halo. I mean, I do too. I just, honestly, I feel like he was, giving it more credit than it deserved, but he didn't know that it was going to be like how many months after that the game was going to be fixed. He probably said in his review like, oh, it'll get fixed and then it deserves a 9, but it was ridiculous.
Well, he did give Halo 4 a 9.7 when the rest of the world was a little more skeptical.
Yeah, I wasn't a big fan either, but I mean, I don't know, that one's fair because like it's more subjective. If you liked Halo 4, you liked Halo 4. It wasn't due to any technical issues like Halo Master Chief Collection.
Really? Was it as subjective to point out the fact that people were criticizing the Halo 4 multiplayer because it seemed to skew more Call of Duty style than the previous games?
Yeah, but that's not a technical issue. That's just a subjective, if you like Call of Duty style going into Halo, then you'll love this game and give it a 9.7, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that.
Oh.
I didn't like it as much. I definitely liked, the more arena-based style of Halo. But I mean, more power to you if you think if it's a good game and deserves that score. Master Chief Collection released broken, so that's a problem.
Fair.
All right, moving on to my prediction.
I'd love to hear your prediction, Chris.
I think that on stage they will say the old Battletoads games are available right now on Xbox Live.
No.
That would be crazy.
I don't know. I feel like the Battletoads train was like geared towards that. I'm hoping that it was geared towards that whole what's it called? The Shovel Knight expansion. Yeah, exactly. I hope it stops there. I hope that's where it goes. I don't know. I had no love for the Battletoads games, so I mean, we'll see.
I don't either, but I think that Shovel Knight was the tip of the iceberg, the tip of the spear.
Yeah. All right. Fair enough.
What's your first prediction, Joe?
Oh, Microsoft. I don't know how realistic this is because I feel like Microsoft's still a little wary about going anywhere near peripherals, because of obvious reasons. But I think that we're going to get a VR headset for Xbox, not an exclusive. I think it'll be one of the. I think it'll be compatible with one of the VR headsets that we've seen already.
Yep. That was one of my other predictions.
The exact same thing?
Yep.
Well, I said it.
Oh, okay.
You didn't say
Yep.
it. So, what now? Stick to your Halo
All right,
5 predictions, bro. I got VR.
That'd be...
Sorry.
No, I mean, that would just surprise me because of the Microsoft, HoloLens is what I would think that they would connect with. So if they connected with, like, I don't know why I just blanked, Oculus Rift or Vive or anything, it would come out of nowhere.
Yeah, it would be. I wonder still how, like, HoloLens is going to work. Like, would they do something? Would HoloLens work with something like just straight up VR? I don't think it works like that. I'm still interested to see what HoloLens is all about, really, and if it's going to work the way they showed it to work and stuff. It's definitely an interesting. It's interesting. That's all. But I think an already existing VR headset will become compatible with Xbox.
One might hope it
Sounds
doesn't
good.
end up like Kinect is.
Yeah, for sure. That's the thing, yeah. Like
Right.
how they're wary of peripherals, So that's the only thing that I think maybe they may not talk too much about it.
They certainly won't talk about Kinect.
No, never again.
Is that your second prediction, Alex?
No,
Stealing predictions from the man.
I want to be a believer in the power that Quantum Break will be shown finally, and we'll see gameplay and not just footage from a hypothetical TV show.
Okay, I can get behind that. Brooks?
Second opinion, I think they're going to have Windows 10 there, and they're going to show out some of the Xbox One integration.
Oh, that's a good prediction.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, Microsoft is really behind Windows 10, so
Yeah, that's a lot,
I could
for
see that
sure.
happening. After the success of the ukulele Kickstarter, Microsoft announces Banjo-Kazooie.
That would dovetail nicely into what Rare has up their sleeves.
That's right. We haven't heard quite yet what that game Phil Spencer was talking about is. Yeah, you're right. I don't know. That'd be like almost. That'd make them like dicks almost, That'd be so wrong. Oh.
What's your prediction, Joe?
I don't know. I had the one, and I was like, bam, and now I don't even know.
Okay.
Yeah, honestly, Steam is coming to Xbox One. Bring it on. Do it. It's happening. All the history with the war be gone. Yeah, Steam is coming to Xbox One. Bam.
Perfect. I love it. Alex, final Microsoft prediction.
Oh, because we all love Halo so much, and the Master Chief Collection was such a good value proposition with the Xbox One last year, I think Microsoft will announce a 1 terabyte Xbox One bundle with Halo 5.
Wow.
I think that's good. I think everyone you said is possible. Brooks?
I believe they're going to show off the new Tomb Raider game again. They're going to push this new Tomb Raider game to try to to push some more Xbox units.
Okay. I think you guys are 3 for 3. My final prediction for Microsoft: Fables 4 logo and CGI trailer.
Oh man, I don't know. I don't know. Fable.
It's a long shot.
I'm thinking Fable.
They seem to swear by Fable Legends, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like, it's ridiculous. Like, the public has spoken.
So.
We don't care.
I do care. I think Fable Legends looks interesting.
I'm echoing basically what anyone on IGN. I mean, I guess like Ryan McCaffrey says, but like Fable Legends looks like an interesting game, but that's not what I want Fable to be. You know what I mean? Like I want it to be Fable, and I would love Fable 4. Please, I want it desperately.
Maybe Fable Legends is Fable 4, but not in name. There's your answer.
All right.
It is Fable 4 in literally, I can't think of a capacity in which it's Fable 4. It's only in name. It's like if it's not in name, it's not in anything else because it's not a Fable game. You know, it's just like, I don't know. It's odd.
You can
Fable
make the
Legends is
argument
odd.
then that Super Mario 64 should be called Super Mario Brothers 5.
Fair enough. Joe, do you have a third Crazy Mike?
Phil
prediction, or
Spencer
do you wanna
will
get
make a sex joke.
Okay. All right. Alex led us last time, so Brooks, do you want to start with your Sony prediction?
Absolutely, positively. Let's see.
Those are words. Those are all real words.
Oh yeah, we've already covered Uncharted 4. So I'm thinking my first prediction. I'm thinking they're going to show some footage from the Ratchet and Clank movie and talk about the game a little bit.
Okay. I can see them doing that. Because, I mean, Sony always has a weird video segment or, kind of multi-cross media.
A montage, Will.
Yeah. That actually goes into one of my predictions. I think that they will announce the Last of Us, Ellie, and Joel and bring them on stage from the movie.
Oh.
Too soon.
Interesting.
Right.
Yeah.
They won't
I
be
forgot
marketed.
there was a
I don't
movie.
think you're going to hear enough about the Last of Us movie, if anything at all, because they have to talk about the Ratchet and Clank movie first, because that's where the messaging is.
That's very true. Yeah, the Ratchet and Clank is what they're going to be pushing, if anything. You're right. That's fair.
It's all about.
You're right.
They're still.
That's
Are
why
they in production right now for Last of
Yeah.
Us? Yeah. Like full production, or is it
like-
pre-production?
Probably pre. Before it was.
Yeah. So it might be a stretch. I don't know. We'll see.
What's your first prediction, Joe, for Sony?
They will open the first half of Sony will be majority, like extreme majority of third party. Like everything will be like Battlefront, and I was gonna say Titanfall, but I think I heard something that Titanfall's not showing up. Or something. I forgot if I heard that. like
Jerk. You stole
the
my
next
idea.
Call of Duty will be there. Oh, I'm sorry. I went second. You can't hate me. I went third. And then like first half of it will be majority third party games. Maybe a demo or two for like Uncharted or something or other like that. Maybe Ratchet and Clank. Yeah.
Okay. Alex, what's your first prediction?
So, we all know the PlayStation Vita, right? We're hardcore gamers. We know it. We love it.
Tell me more. PlayStation Vita. Sounds lovely.
My prediction is sad, but I think Sony will only mention it in relation to cross-buy games and indie titles.
Probably.
That's fair. Unless they,
Yep.
we, the impossible happens and we get like a new model of the
Highly unlikely.
Yeah.
After all, it was Andrew House himself who said that Vita is a legacy platform.
Yeah, that was interesting. I remember hearing about that. I wasn't really sure.
I'll fill in that one. So at the investors meeting for Sony a couple weeks ago, Andrew House was talking about the write down on components for legacy platforms, and that includes the PS Vita. So what NeoGAF picked up on was that, Sony's discontinuing the Vita, they're not going to support it anymore. It will be given token games from here on out. And then he later clarified in a statement that they actually meant the components of the first version of the Vita with that gorgeous OLED screen. Maybe you've seen it.
Yeah, that sounds like bullshit.
But,
why would
It
there's
was
no
complete
difference in like how it
marketing
functions.
speak.
Reading
What?
between the lines, it's pretty clear Sony does not want to invest any kind of development resources into pushing first-party Vita games, especially when poor, beleaguered Tearaway, the wonderful Tearaway, cannot move more than 14,000 units.
Yeah, for sure.
That was a huge
All right,
shame.
what-
Tearaway is my favorite Vita game.
Persona 4 Golden for me, still.
I could not get into
I
Persona
realize
4.
it's a
Like
port.
Persona 4 Golden felt like I was playing it. I played Tearaway. I love Tearaway. I played Persona 4 Golden and it was cool, and it was like it feels like the tutorial is lasting me weeks. Like, when do I get to just, like, play the game without there being like, and now you're on the weekend. You can do what you want on the weekend, but let's give this 20-minute tutorial on the weekend. Like, I feel like there's no end to, like, learning about this game, and it's rough.
I mean, you're absolutely right. That game is JRPG as shit. Like, it is unapologetically cumbersome and aloof and weird menus and, it's part dating simulator, part dungeon crawler. But I don't know, it works for me. So
it is clearly not accessible.
Yeah, no, it's like you said, yeah. I'll give it another shot. Everyone swears by it, but I was not prepared. Like, I knew it was a JRPG, but I was not ready,
My PS carry case would be where I'd put my copy of Persona 4 Golden, if I had one.
What? That's such an obtuse dig. What's your second prediction, Brooks?
Okay, I believe Sony's going to show off some footage from Gran Turismo 7.
Ooh.
Gran Turismo 7, the game as a service.
I would say that's your riskiest prediction to date.
Mm-hmm.
So that'd be interesting. I know that game has a lot of following. I mean, that series does.
That you haven't seen has a lot of following.
I know, I misspoke. My second prediction, and I'm glad Joe didn't say this because he kind of hinted at it earlier in the show. Destiny expansion pack number 2.
Yep.
Like, I know they already had the first and the second one, but they're gonna announce the second season pass and extra DLC and kind of the next year of what Destiny players can look forward to.
Yeah, I got that written down right here. Yep. A few new maps, maybe some new weapons. Yep.
And I think that's going to be that might even be part of tying to Joe's prediction. That's going to be their opening, and that's going to be part of their third-party blog.
Yeah, that's definitely.
Yeah,
Destiny is going to still be a huge part of. I'm sorry, Brooks.
No,
I was just going to say it's going to be a huge part, obviously, of their third-party support. Destiny will continue to be, and I'm sure it will remain. Like they're one of their big pushing titles as far as third-party goes.
It makes sense because the Xbox should be getting this game any day now. By virtue of like exclusivity. They're gonna get this game eventually. Limited exclusivity. They're gonna get it eventually, and it's a good idea for Sony to do make one more push on DLC to get more people to get it here instead of going to the Xbox to get it.
Right.
What's your second prediction, Joe?
So the conference will close out. Not exactly a one more thing type, but they're going to unveil a brand new exclusive IP demo, like Watch Dogs style.
Okay. Nice. I hope you're right.
That's what we want.
Alex.
We want new games.
Yeah. Yeah, I hope you're right. Alex, what's your second Sony prediction?
Glad you asked. So, we know Sony's conferences in the last few years. They have these periods in the middle where they're not speaking directly to us, but they're speaking to investors and retailers. They talk about things like Wonderbook and PlayStation Mobile and Powers. I want to believe that they'll do something similar this year, and they're going to do a similar thing this year, and it's going to be for something that gamers don't care about. Something that aims at the mass market.
Okay.
You mean like Project Morpheus or something?
No, not even that. Project Morpheus aims at a very rich niche, if you ask me. I'm thinking Andrew House has also said that they want to broaden the PS4 to a wider audience. Sony doesn't just want to sell 24 million PS4s to the hardcore gamer. They want to sell 60 million PS4s to casual gamers. They want to sell
for sure.
Yeah. So, what kind of content they'll show, I cannot say, but I absolutely predict there will be a 15-minute stretch where they show something that the gamers do not like. But
I think you're right.
But USA Today will like, and the Today Show is going to, and Walmart. Walmart will want to order 1 million copies of whatever it is they show.
we're not going to build that into your prediction, but
It's a hype.
Brooks, take us home for Sony.
Okay, I'm thinking they're going to unveil some more DLC and expansion pack for Bloodborne. My justification for this is because they're not. I mean, the game is really popular, and they're not going to be pushing out a whole lot of first-party games this year. So it might be a good idea to do something to sell some more copies of this game to get more people to play on it. It's a bold prediction, but there it is.
I mean, Shuhei said that they're going to do DLC at some point, so, I mean, E3 is the perfect place to announce it. My final Sony prediction, Infamous Second Son sequel, whatever weird title it will have, will be announced.
Infamous
logo and image only.
Infamous Third Son.
Sure.
Possibly.
We don't care about the first son. The firstborn never matters, right?
6 brides for 7 brothers.
I haven't really been paying attention to like what that studio's been working on. So like if they've been working with, yeah, Sucker Punch. Thank you.
They're quiet right now. No doubt they're gearing up for their next project that will no doubt cost many millions, and that's why. And they can also not. Have we done 3 predictions each yet?
We're on the third round right now. Yeah.
Okay, because I'm gonna save this for that.
Oh, okay.
I thought that I was just about to ramble on.
Joe, your third Sony
what?
prediction.
Sorry, Led Zeppelin. What? Okay.
No, you're fine.
Yeah. Okay, so the first half's going to be third party. The second half, this almost makes 0 sense, but the second half will be all Project Morpheus based. They're going to start talking about what's it called? They're going to talk about No Man's Sky, first person view. They're going to release some indie first person explorative game. They're going to talk about services like, going to baseball games and stupid stuff like that. It probably makes no sense for them to do this because everyone, again, is wary of peripherals since the Kinect catastrophe. But that's what I want, and I want Project Morpheus to work. So that's gonna happen.
Yeah, I got both of them written down here too. Project Morpheus and No Man's Sky. Because there hasn't been any information on that game for a minute.
Joseph,
sorry.
Did I hear you say Lorpheus? Tell me more about the lore of Morpheus.
Morpheus.
I never heard Lorpheus.
No, I made that mistake.
I think you could be onto something, Joe, because Oculus Rift dominates mindshare and market share, and Sony wants to start eating into that now.
For sure, yeah. They've made moves that make it seem like they wanted to be the first to market, But like then we heard about the push. It wasn't a push. We never got really a date, but like we heard about it coming out to 2016. They gave it kind of a quiet treatment. Like they're like, I'm sorry, it's not coming out this year. But I mean, VR is still in a very weird spot. It's huge at conventions and expos and things, but we don't. There's still no promise for it. But it's huge for gamers. Gamers are loving it. So it's in a very weird place where no one's ready to like jump on it really, but someone's going to, and then that will tell everything. That'll tell like if it's gonna be amazing, if it's gonna be the next thing, or if it's gonna be just like it's too expensive, it's too alienating, nobody wants it. It's a very weird place, and I'm excited to see what happens next. And I hope it's positive. I'm hoping to see some real VR awesomeness.
Alex, what's your final Sony prediction?
Before we get to that, I was going to say, wouldn't it be awkward if everybody in the Sony conference audience had to put on an Oculus Rift for a 10-minute demo, and everybody at home stream going, what the hell are we looking
Right? Like, they're like, I swear this is awesome, guys. We swear you guys want to buy these.
It's like when they showed Killzone 3 in 3D that one year. In 2010, they showed Killzone 3 in 3D and everything.
Yeah, like, that's the thing. Like, how do you... I swear, that's my third prediction for some reason, but like, how do you actually put on a show telling you like to buy this thing? Like it'll work well on the floor, but like in a conference, how does it really work? I put it in my prediction just because I want it. I just want it to happen, but I mean, I go for wishful thinking more than practical thinking. You know, like yeah, again, like if I saw them wearing Project Morpheus headsets, like the only thing we could imagine is just like I guess it's awesome because you're wearing it. You know, so
Morpheus is like the dinosaurs. It will find a way.
All right.
It's a Jurassic Park reference.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Okay.
I was like, okay, we're all going
Anyway.
crazy.
And so my third and final prediction, and a sad one, Last Guardian will still not show up.
Oh, right.
Yep.
It's still happening
that's
apparently.
They keep saying it, they won't deny that it's canceled because they have had to spend almost 7 years or so saving face on that embarrassment.
Yeah.
That's why, for
saving
example,
face would be just to come out and say
Santa
like,
Monica's
it's
game
not-
got canceled before it was ever announced because they don't want a repeat of that.
I agree with you, Joe. They should just put the story to rest and not worry about it anymore. No more speculation, no more questions. Just be honest about it, and then whatever.
That'd be a real pity. Then Team Eco would not have a Trico. That was what Last Guardian was codenamed Trico.
Wow.
Trico.
Joe, can you be our leader for our first Nintendo prediction?
Zelda will appear, even though maybe it won't be the game, but maybe it'll be a different game. But Zelda's gonna be there because they are maniacs if they don't show it there, because they are like, I swear they're dying. Like unless it's an NX game, or a ported over Wii U game at the end of its cycle, ported over to NX, they're going to want to show something just to reassure us that it is coming after how long? After before the Wii U even came out. So it will be there in some capacity. 5 years. Yeah, you're right. It's been since before the Wii U. Like when they first announced it, they showed like they're working on a Wii U Zelda.
But they released Skyward Sword. That was the writing on the wall for the incredible development cycle they went through.
Yeah, so for sure they gotta give us something. I don't care if they're going back on their word. Let's do it because Zelda's worth it. So Zelda will be there.
And when they do, Reggie will be like, "Before we go, we just want
one
to take
last thing. Yeah.
One final one."
Yep.
All right, Alex.
Herm, Nintendo, they are a complicated beast, are they not?
They are.
We all know Star Fox will be there. I'm predicting that.
It's not his prediction. It's not his prediction. It's fine.
It's not a contradiction to any prediction, but Star Fox will be there and it will be developed by Q Games because they also worked on Star Fox 64, and Nintendo has a good relationship with them. I think they pretty much decided Q Games is the Star Fox developer, at least when Q Games isn't doing the Pixel Junk games.
Do you have any predictions left, Brooks?
Yeah, I believe they're going to reveal more news on the new for some new modes for the Splatoon game.
Okay.
Yeah.
Aside from
good.
those already hinted at that are coming in August, like team battles.
Yeah, they're probably going to show some more. They're probably going to show some of it there.
Well, it is in heavy marketing mode right now, so that's not a long shot.
This is probably my safest bet of the night. Maybe, I don't know. Alex could tell me. Pokemon Z is announced.
I don't have that one.
That's usually Pokemon games don't get announced at E3. That's usually the Pokemon company's jurisdiction, and they like to do things outside of E3. But Pokemon Z, I want to believe that's actually a 2016 game on the fact that their messaging right now is Pokemon Super Mystery Dungeon. And they're also bringing Yokai Watch to the US and all this other stuff. That's not Nintendo, but their messaging is going to be on that stuff before it's on Pokemon Z.
Pokemon XY came out in 2013. So, typically this game comes out a year later. If it's not now, it's never.
Oh, well, so, I think that it's good that they're taking the year off because they need a rest. Think about how much content is in a Pokemon game already, If you put out a game every year, it's putting a lot of pressure.
If you look at
on
how
us.
much Pokemon makes, and you tell Game Freak that they need to rest, like they'll tell you you're crazy because they make so much money.
I would
It's
rather they
ridiculous.
fix their graphical engine before they put out Pokemon Z.
I totally would too. I agree, but like they
actual
won't.
story.
They'll make more money. They will choose money every time.
Well, especially the third game, it's just a remastered version. I mean, so it's not as labor intensive.
True, yeah.
As the new generation.
Zygarde needs his big old game.
So, second round of Nintendo predictions, Joe.
All right, Chris. I know we're on Skype chat, and I can't see you right now, but I want you to know I'm looking at you right now. I'm looking at you right in the face. Mario Galaxy 3 will be announced, and it will be here in 2015. It's happening.
Oh my
Bam,
gosh.
happening.
Wow. That's a
Get on
Is
the
that
train,
the
boys.
fact?
It's happening. It's the winning team.
Is that the facts? The EAD Tokyo team says they're doing a new Mario project, but they're not saying what platform it's for.
Wii U, because the Wii U is the one I have, and it needs to happen on the Wii U, man. I can't. Oh God, that's what's happening because I want it. That's what's happening. That's how it's doing.
For the 9 million people who own a Wii U, I hope you're right.
Yes, thank you.
Hate to say
I
it,
would
but
appreciate it if it was just for me, but thank you. I'll take the 9 million.
I'm afraid that from the top down, all these people like EAD Tokyo were told to not make super hardcore Marios like that anymore, and instead they want to broaden their reach so that everybody, 5 or 55, is going to play it.
Getting down from my
Mario Maker.
Sorry.
No, go on, Joe.
I mean, I was just gonna say, getting down from my horse. Objectively, you're probably right. They were probably like, "Hold your horses. We gotta get a new console out here where we're gonna hook up with DNA."
Super Mario Sunshine. Super Mario Sunshine was super hardcore, and then Iwata gave the order to not make games super hard anymore.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I'm not a fan of Iwata. Like there's nothing that Iwata's done has catered to us. Like any choices he's made. The developers have always been, the hardcore old school developers. They're still there, like Miyamoto and like they're all still trying to do interesting, innovative things. But I mean,
the hardcore
Iwata's not a fan. I'm not a fan.
The hardcore super developers that are still there somehow have nostalgia for Urban Champion, and that's crazy. Nobody else likes that game.
You said no more hardcore Mario. I feel that the most popular user-created levels on Mario Maker are going to be hard as balls.
Oh
yeah.
It's going to be a badge of honor to beat those levels.
Right.
And those are going to be the ones that are going to get the most traction and talked about.
I hope Nintendo doesn't mod the Mario Maker community the way they mod the Smash Brothers matches online, because they'll be telling Mario Maker creators that you can't make it this way. We're going to tell you how to make it.
I mean, if it's happening on Super Smash Bros., I don't even know what you're talking about much, but I mean, if it's happening in Super Smash Bros., it'll probably happen in Mario
I'm talking
Maker,
about people breaking rules online and Nintendo issuing temporary bans because of ill behavior.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's not a competitive game, so I guess, I don't know, does that make it different? It's a very just casual, not casual, like you said, there'll be hardcore levels, but it's more like, it's just a friendly game to make for single-player stuff first, multiplayer, whatever.
The point
I'm
just trying to get the point across that Nintendo wants to control the messaging of software.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's been their problem for so long.
They want to control the way it's played. Hence, why they did auditions for the World Championships, not with NES Remix on the Wii U, but with the handheld game Ultimate NES Remix, which makes no sense. But what are you going to do?
You are going to give us your second Nintendo prediction, Alex.
I love Nintendo predictions.
We know.
I think that Amiibo. It's a thing. Thanks to the power of the internet, we learned today that there might be Pokemon Amiibo in the future, and I have a hunch, a feeling, an inkling. You see what I did there? Inkling. They're going to show Pokemon Amiibo, and they're going to come in the form of cards, and they will be available later this year.
Yeah. There are Pokemon amiibo right now, right? There's a ninja guy and things like that. Yeah.
That ninja guy is a tree frog. Show a little respect.
Oh, I'm sorry. He's a tree frog, ninja tree frog. But like, I wonder how. I never really knew too much about how like Game Freak and Nintendo, work out, licensing and stuff like that. Like, does Nintendo...
that's not Game Freak. That's actually not Game Freak's call. That's the Pokemon Company's call.
Oh, right. That's what I meant. Yeah,
if you look at the
Pokemon
bottom
Company,
of the Pokemon amiibo that are out now, they have copyright information that sends you back to Pokemon Company.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, like how does that work? Like, are they going to be up for, I mean, they'd be crazy not to be up for like just getting a huge amount of Pokemon amiibo out there.
Exactly.
But then again, like, do Pokemon companies see amiibo the same way as Nintendo does? Like it's interesting.
Absolutely, they would be open to it. They're no strangers to NFC as of now. Have you guys heard of Pokemon Tetra?
No.
It's an arcade game in Japan where you use NFC pucks to bring Pokemon onto the arcade screen, and you do 3-on-3 battles.
So that's all over it. That's amiibo got written all over it. Yeah.
They are quite collectible over there. They give them out with DVDs, with CDs, with movie tickets, and just going to an event will give you an exclusive Tetra puck. I think that Pokemon Amiibo is a shoe-in because of how that franchise is all about collection and so on.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. It's interesting.
Gotta buy them all.
I just hope that they don't pull a Happy Home Designer and make it 3 cards per booster pack, because that would be evil. Have you heard about that?
Brooks?
No.
Happy Home Designer, them's the breaks.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Yes,
if
sir.
this game comes to the Wii U, people's heads would explode. More than likely it'll be on the NX, but I'm predicting Animal Crossing. Some footage from Animal Crossing. They're going to announce it.
Okay. That sounds good.
That's a safe bet. That's realistic. I believe it.
I mean, I think betting on any new games coming to the Wii U is risky.
Right.
I think only stuff that we know, Star Fox and Zelda, and that's it. To be honest.
I can see Animal Crossing doing extremely well on the NX with mobile gaming, especially in Japan. It'll be insane.
It's interesting, like Nintendo's communication, just announcing the NX. They didn't announce. It was at a very, semi-closed door event that they were talking. It wasn't for consumers, that event. But I mean, you would think now companies know that everything you say, no matter where it is, no matter who it's to, it's gonna explode. But I wonder, Nintendo just feels so old school and feels so out of the loop. I wonder if they know what the messaging they're giving, especially going over to the States, it's a whole other story. I wonder, you saying, Chris, your idea that there's nothing coming out, that we don't know about. You said that pretty, you were pretty clear that that's your belief. We know everything that's coming out to Wii U now, and then they're gearing everything towards NX, and that would be true if they knew exactly what they were doing with their language, with talking about the NX. But I'm not sure if they do. I don't know business well enough to make assessments like that. But I know Nintendo's super weird and just confusing, and so I'm wondering how. And I want Mario Galaxy 3 to be on the Wii U, so there's that too.
The NX got announced early because of the mobile deal, and I believe that fully. If they didn't team up with DNA, they would not have announced the NX.
Right.
The NX was a balm to say hey, we're moving to mobile, but
hold your horses.
So don't freak out.
Yeah. They did say it like that too. They were but don't be concerned about our hardware. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Might I say I know business well enough to know that NX and mobile will not be at E3 because that's not their consumer-facing messaging right now. That's for investors. In fact, I would safely bet that Nintendo wishes that we didn't know about that stuff.
Yep.
But I can tell you what will be at E3. My second prediction for Nintendo. They're going to announce the Wii U Slim. No gamepad, smaller components, It's going to be a cheaper model price, and it's going to get more Wii U's into homes.
That's a bold
Did you say
ass
no
prediction.
Wii backwards compatibility?
Sure, no Wii backwards
Because-
compatibility. Whatever they need to do to get this thing as cheap as possible.
That would be a problem because of the Wii games on the eShop, would it not?
Nintendo doesn't care.
They should care because when you go to the home menu, press the home menu button when you're playing Wii downloads, it shows the old Wii shell that you know and love from 2006, which means those downloads are actually running in Wii mode. If you pull
It's a crazy prediction, and it's probably not going to happen anyway.
Yeah, but if you pull out that Wii in the box, it's going to create emulation problems for those, I believe. I think that the Wii U's biggest problem from the start was calling it the Wii U.
Mhm.
It has nothing to do with Wii backwards.
There's a million problems, but I mean that's definitely one of the biggest things. But
Yeah.
like communication, yeah. Like I mean everyone said it. You know, any podcast or like gaming website I've heard has labeled every single of the 10 huge problems with the Wii U. You know, it was too early. It was called the freaking Wii U. It was, you know, the gamepad. It was cheap. It was under like there's a million. You know, like that's absolutely a real big problem, like you said. But like there's a million. You know, there's so many reasons why this thing was just a bomb. It's like it's crazy.
Wii having GameCube backwards compatibility certainly didn't hurt it.
Yeah.
Nobody thought it was a GameCube.
Yeah, for sure.
What's the last prediction for Nintendo, Joe?
But I was gonna say
Halfway
something
through the
about
room.
DNA. Did someone say DNA? I forgot. I wasn't sure.
No, not as.
I remember someone saying like there's not gonna be mobile, but I'm sure we'll get at least one look at like what Nintendo Mobile means. I think there's gonna be something just to show us like the future. Maybe I don't know if they'll announce a game or like announce like a release of a game, but we're gonna see something about that partnership. And at least one game. I heard recently that like you know they're going to be scarce the amount of games that they're going to make each year or whatever, but we're going to see something for sure.
Very bold prediction of you. It would.
Yeah, Nintendo said that they're not going to do anything with DNA or mobile at E3 already.
They also said no Zelda, but I swear it's happening. So I don't know. I think it's time. It's about time Nintendo starts to backpedal on like all these, you know, alienating announcements they make just like all over the place. Like, I mean, what are they going to do at E3 that we don't know about, you know, that they haven't talked about over and over? You know, that's what makes me think that they're going to maybe stir things up, be like, okay, look, here's a little taste what we got, you know, just something. Because I can't imagine what else they're going to do. Like, it's weird what they're doing.
They certainly won't show a pre-rendered CG trailer like the other publishers do.
Yeah, they don't. That's not their style. That's for sure. That's something like I still appreciate about Nintendo. It's like, you know, their games work. They show us what the games look like, and they, you know, I don't know, like the fact like their actual games are still excellent, you know, and their communication of those games specifically is always great. It's just, you know, everything else that's a problem.
All right, Alex. I know you love Nintendo, but what's your final Nintendo prediction?
That's a hot one. It's so hard to talk about Nintendo predictions, right? Because you cannot tell what they will do.
Because you never know. Like, you never.
Right.
Well, we do know that they will show unannounced Wii U games. We know of many things. We know, in fact, of the birds and the bees.
This wasn't a pop quiz.
Bear with me. Bear with me. I'm sort of vamping a little.
All right, Brooks, do you have one?
Yeah. This one might not be there, but it makes sense considering Nintendo's vision. Let's try Nintendo Land 2.
Okay.
God, I hope
I'd be
not.
curious
That'd
to see how that comes
Yeah,
together.
I really hope not.
It's probably it will be a relatively simple game to put together, considering like a bunch of mini games in the online community. It wouldn't be half bad.
I don't know
Sure.
anyone who would be happy to see that. I mean, I'm sure there would be people, but I don't know them.
Was that enough stalling time, Alex?
Yes.
Okay, what you got for us?
I'm predicting they'll announce a new Smash Brothers fighter, And that fighter will be based on the polls that opened back in April.
Oh, right.
Oh.
We forgot about those.
I did forget about
Well,
that.
you could forget
Are you
about
guys
the-
looking at my sheet to the computer or something?
Who could, but who
Yeah,
could
no.
forget about the maniacal requests to vote for characters like
Yeah.
Banjo-Kazooie and Goku and Shrek, characters Nintendo has no ownership of. They can't do it. So
Well,
it
they
will,
can do it. They
will
just have to get the
likely be
license for it. And people have been vocal about like being open to that idea. You know, like Brooke says, it's free publicity. You know, doing stuff like that. People are way more open about their IP now than they used to be.
as long as there's money involved, of course.
Exactly.
I'm gathering that Nintendo is going to go for a character that they own internally, and it will not be Ridley. Sorry to disappoint you.
Probably a Earthbound character.
Except that would be easy to believe if we weren't already getting Lucas, but them's the breaks.
My final Nintendo prediction is that they will release a free game service like PlayStation Plus or Xbox Game with Gold, but they will Nintendo it so much that it will be so weird and like it'll be like one game a month. And you can only keep it for like that month. Or, like, there'll be some weird restrictions along it.
You invent like Nintendoisms very well. That sounds like Nintendo somehow.
Wow, that's a ball.
But it's only available that 1 month. We take it away
sounds
from
right, though.
We give you a game, we take it away.
It sounds a lot like Nintendo Video, actually. Listen to that dead air.
That tells
never
everything
heard of-
about Nintendo Video.
They were like, we're gonna send you a video, whatever we want, and then we're gonna take it away, and you'll be like, where'd it go? And we'll be like, haha, we're Nintendo. You're not Nintendo.
Haha, we're Nintendo. That's how they. That's
And
Yeah.
you still love us.
Christopher, does this prediction not dovetail with the purchase of DNA designing a replacement program for Club Nintendo?
Nah, I wasn't thinking that far ahead.
It sounds very similar.
But it's possible.
To what Nintendo owns a stake in them for is partly to rebuild infrastructure. And a PlayStation Now service definitely fits the bill for what they could do.
Definitely sounds good. Well, if you're out there listening still, we appreciate it. Those are our E3 predictions. Once E3 is done, we will get together and tally up the score and see who came up on top. If you have your own E3 predictions, you can email us at nerdexp@gmail.com, or you can follow us on the social medias or IGN. If you want to hear more from Joe, you can check him out at
Joey Dagabonuts at Twitter or Joey Dagabonuts on my IGN.
You can follow Alex.
I'm at AlexIR Esquire, and I'm still writing on alwaysnintendo.com as EIC, and I'm also contributing to Current Digital Magazine, and I can be found on my IGN at Cartoonami.
Perfect. And Brooks is also known as...
You can find me on Twitter as NavyMVG, or you can find me on my IGN as Military Veteran Gamer.
Perfect. I'm Chris Peterson. I'm NerdEXP on Twitter or my IGN. I do another podcast called the NerdEXP Cinecast that focuses on movie and television. You can check that out on Tuesdays. Well, thank you, Brooks.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Alex.
You're welcome, Chris.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you.
And thank you out there for listening. I hope that you guys enjoyed this week's episode and that we were able to help you with your gaming IQ. Level up, friends.